Hello everyone, welcome back to the System Podcast. I am here with my friend Ankit. So Ankit is the founder of a company called Investmates, which is into personal wealth management. He is a founding member. So corrections. So Ankit is a really young entrepreneur. He is almost 23. 23. Yes. So he's almost 23 years old and already has done 2 startups already. So I thought he's an interesting person to talk to. Let's invite him and discuss regarding business and entrepreneurship, his view, worldview, perspective on things. What is your 10-year vision? What? Yeah. So Ankit, let's start. Let's start with some history.
Alright, so I'm Ankit. I started, I was just quickly getting into the background of myself. So I started when I was 18 and I was just completing my school. I started my own startup and it was called Mystify.com. The idea was very simple. We were trying to provide a niche, relevant object to any extra item anyone has over there. So let's say you have an gaming console, a camera.
So उसका idea कहाँ से आया?
Interesting big. So where I live, it's a very small town. It's called Pontussalet. So a lot of people there come for a job. Like there are a lot of pharma. I think most of the pharma companies are here. Even the national partners companies are here. So they'll come and they'll ask for anything and everything on them. And I remember when we completed me and my friend done with our school, we had a fair event. So for that we just went outside. We wanted to rent a camera. So then we thought, okay, when we are renting or shooting this stuff and all, why not just provide this access to more people? That was, I think, the trigger for the idea.
तो basically वही हमारी प्रॉब्लम थी, दूसरों की भी होगी, same topic. Basically हम सब यही same story है.
Like I think I don't know if it was a problem, but it was like some sort of convenience at start or whatever. But yeah, I ended up solving problem this way.
तो उसके बाद फिर इसको आगे प्रोसेस कैसे किया? फ्रेंड्स को कन्विंस किया लेट्स सॉल्व दिस, क्योंकि कॉलेज नेक्स्ट स्टेप तो कॉलेज ही होता है उसके बाद.
No, I was not a studious kid and I just wanted to get out of my school and I was not interested in pursuing my career with education. Then even right now I'm about I did not complete my college. So I think the idea was very simple. Just go out and make your name, make some friends, deliver an impact in the market. So I had a friend I think our objectives and our idea was same, our motivation was same. So we thought of starting this thing. The moment we were done with our last maths exams, we registered on Startup India, Startup Himachal, and we were asked to present. And then our idea was, they liked our idea and they just gave us an exam. And
क्या इंक्यूबेशन सपोर्ट क्या क्या मिला?
so they would give us like moments and they would also provide us any tech
तो
support.
कुछ पहले कुछ फॉर्म फिल किया था, क्या प्रोसेस क्या था?
I think it was Startup Himachal website. So
उसका पता कैसे चला?
I think I was hunting. I don't know if I got an ad, but I don't remember. It's been like many years now. But I was trying to apply for some startup program. And I think that's how I found Startup India, Startup Himachal. And I submitted the PPT there. PPT, not even PPT, I think it was just an idea about the idea and they liked it. They called it for presentation. And it was in Himachal, so it was in Shimla Udyog Bhavan. So I think and then
इंटरव्यू वगैरह भी होता कुछ?
No, I think in the bus we were preparing the PPT and then we went there. We were the youngest in the room, and they were very happy to see some young person is coming. And we got I think our young age played a good role there, and we got a chance to present. And
they were receptive. They weren't like ये तो नई लोग इनको क्या पता होगा?
yeah, I think they were more welcoming. So the young people, who would have thought this after completing school, 2 kids would just come there and pitch about your business.
तो उनको वो मिल गया, कुछ हेडलाइंस मिल गई.
And most of the startups were actually very, I would say like tourist focused. In Himachal specifically, I heard the pictures of the other people who were coming, and we were like quite innovative.
मतलब कोई क्या मतलब कोई कंक्लेव था, मतलब क्या सिस्टम था, मतलब या सीधा ही आप ऑफिस में?
No, I think they call for these speeches every month.
अच्छा.
So you can apply and start at Himachal.
अभी भी चल रहा
I
है?
think every state has it. As much as I remember, every state has a startup program. Even Startup Punjab, Startup Haryana, Himachal, in every state will have it. Maybe some governments are more active in pursuing that, and I think Himachal is one of that. They really helped us. They were quick to reply, they were quick to call us, and I think many things just went very good.
तो ये जो आपकी एडिंग में तक की बात है
It's like 5-6 years now.
फिर उसका फिर आगे फिर मतलब कि उन्होंने क्या क्या सपोर्ट किया था
So I think the first thing they gave us 3 lakhs in grant without
Achha.
any equity. So they
Achha.
were kind enough to give us. It was more than enough for us to build a website.
Achha.
So we started building a website with that, and they also gave us some interns from the university. So they provide you incubation support. So then the next step is if you get qualified, shortlisted after the first round, then they would make you sort of pitch to any incubator of your choice. So we picked like JUIT, JP University in Sweden. So we picked that because it was a renowned IT university. We pitched our idea and the idea, and they got the incubation support there also. So that
Achha.
time I think they gave a proper pitch.
Achha.
Yeah, and I think in just 1 or 2 weeks then they said that hey, you can come and you can get the formalities done for incubation. Then they were provided with like they also had like a space where you can sit and work. But I think we were not thinking of working from that university or anything, so we were working from home.
Achha.
But yeah, I think tech support, any intern support, they were just providing us something. Even networking and post like grant funding, incubation would provide us.
तो फिर फर्स्ट सेल फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली
I think Instagram played a pivotal role there. I think we did not try where we were living because that is
अच्छा मतलब कि ज्योग्राफिकल लिमिट नहीं थी इस पे
no, मतलब like हमारा focus over like the cities where we had some reach like Chandigarh, Dehradun, Shimla region of Himachal. But I think we were not very specific in like which location to go. Where we live, it's a very small town, so I think beyond just accommodation, there's not much demand in it. But I think where there are people like college kids, like there were more younger people who are going out, who want experiences, we were targeting them. So I think these locations were there. You have so many colleges in Chandigarh, same in Dehradun. So these were go-to places. And in Himachal, there were tourists coming, right? So you need the equipment somewhere. You want to do anything that is the businesses to get listed on a platform. The same, the renters could find them and put things on there. Yeah, so I think that was the idea. We would sit and find these people from Google Maps and would like go behind them, cold them, tell them, hey, this is a platform, just come and make your account and list your equipment or items, whatever you want to do. And then we would go about and try to find people by running ads on Instagram.
अच्छा फिर अपना कब तक ये सारा कितना लंबा प्रोसेस था ये मतलब कि कॉन्सेप्शन से लेके फाइनली मतलब के मार्केट डिलीवरी तक
I think website building took time. I would say even MVP building took time, but
तो ये था कि MVP बिल्ड करना है या वो भी कहीं और से पता चला
no, I think I knew like okay. No, I think I started studying some startup related facts articles and how others have done. So I think I was doing my part as well. So I knew like we need to create an MVP. We were not focusing on written thing. So we created like a whole Excel model. So you can list and find their income, but we were not executing foundation from that time. So I think building tech was a big thing because me and my friend both were not on the tech part. We just had the idea about it. We had the heat tech skill. But I think where we lacked was real tech skill. We got, I think at times we faced turbulence and we also faced some scams from the local development agencies. One of these didn't work very well for us. Then we had to redevelop them that one.
अच्छा
We did it, like I think we hired someone who was a freelancer.
अच्छा
We didn't want to get into that. But I think first experience was not very nice. But we asked to be delivered. It was not exactly that was promised to us. So we had to sort of find some new developers and then go from the scratch and get the platform. So it took some time, but meanwhile we were just getting a backlog really of businesses to get onboarded. But I think it took more than 6 months to just get into the process. But even after incubation, there were some delays. It took a lot of time for some formal registrations, the release of grants from the government. So
कितना टाइम
it would get items, but then we knew like okay, this month our incubation starts, at least we could just go. So we give some money upfront and then I think the rest of the amount we were paying once we got it.
अच्छा
I think that's how we did. But again, it took twice for us to build that even a smaller MVP because of
फिर MVP को फिर वो कैसे किया टू द पब्लिक कैसे हो गया इंस्टाग्राम से प्रमोशन करी किसी ने एड्स लाई
Insta, we used to run Insta promotions. We used to do like search engine optimization. So my friend, there was another friend who was very keen into. So I had like one of my friend is very much into tech. So I took help from him.
अच्छा
So he found like people in his own network who would come and support us in the tech side. So like some enhances to the website, but they couldn't build an entire product. So meanwhile we were also learning. I think we didn't just go and were very much like motivated to just release the product, but also wanted to learn because it was first time for us. So I was gathering some team, and again I didn't have the tech background, so I wanted some tech co-founder. So with that, I think we did run ads on Instagram. We did do SEO. We did was trying to find businesses on the Google Maps and some joint collaboration. Like if the people like who were visiting these places where they would find items on rent, we would just co-brand them with listify.com, just like how Oyo would do.
अच्छा
So we sort of try to do that as well.
फिर फर्स्ट सेल कब आई
I don't remember कि first sale.
मतलब कितना टाइम लगा था क्योंकि उसके MVP लॉन्च के बाद
I think it was like
फर्स्ट सेल अनरिलेटेड मतलब अनरिलेटेड बंदे की
no, I think the first one was unrelated. We never did like any known
पर
network.
इसमें तो दो होंगे ना एक प्रोडक्ट आप लिस्ट कर सकते हो और दूसरा आप
दूसरा रेंट कर सकते हो.
दूसरा रेंट कर सकते हो तो रेंट करने वाला जो प्रोडक्ट लिस्ट करने वाले वो कब आए और रेंट करने वाले वो कब आए
I think the moment we got the platform, say पहले we were getting ready, we used to make Excel sheets. Of these people, we would go and find local businesses who are giving on rent. So that could be, most of them was automobiles, like your cars, bikes, all that stuff on rent. And then from Instagram and some other, we would also find the shooting equipment like cameras, gaming consoles. So we would find the businesses or some local businesses who are like was having PlayStations, video gaming consoles. So some category where there was some higher demand.
अच्छा
We were going with that.
अच्छा मतलब फिजिकली जाके कहीं उनको प्लेटफॉर्म पे ऑन बोर्ड
Sometimes physically, mostly cold calling, and then
अच्छा.
telling them it would sometimes.
जब उसका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा था क्या रिस्पांस आते थे रिसेप्टिव थे या कि नहीं ये क्या चलो निकलो
No, I think very
क्योंकि 18-year-olds आगे कह रहे हैं कि हमारी वेबसाइट पे लिस्ट करोगे ये कर देंगे वो कर
No, I
देंगे
think they would get business, but it was hard to convince because we didn't have the name to start with. So I think if I'm calling 10 people, at least 2-3 would. No, I think more than that, 3-4 would be convinced to do it because we would tell them like they are gonna get business out of it. So I think it did work, and
कोल्ड कॉलिंग पे
yeah, it did work.
क्या क्लोज रेट इसमें ज्यादा था कोल्ड कॉलिंग में था या फिजिकली विजिट करने में था
I think physical visits was very less because we couldn't go to as many places or we couldn't didn't have that many people also. But I think physical, again, the credibility, the thing is more, but it consumes a lot of time. I think again our option rate was higher, but again it was not scalable for us.
फिर मतलब कि किस टाइम पे हुआ कि भाई हाँ अब लोग कर रहे हैं ऑर्डर वगैरह मतलब कि किस टाइम पे लगा कि हाँ अब आइडिया थोड़ा हिट है
No, there's an irony. So it took us some time to build the platform, but I think after 1.5 years there was COVID. So that time we got a lot of demand, but we failed to deliver.
क्यों
Because no, there was like SOPs that if you want to run delivery, it has to be sanitized, you have to do this thing, that. So we were just like too early in the business, and I feel like we couldn't execute that thing. Lockdown just broke our spine in that thing, and we had to close it.
नहीं अब कुछ ट्रैक्शन दिखा के फंड रेजिंग वगैरह वो वाली चीज नहीं हुई
We did try, but again I think the another like caveat here is like our
बिजनेस प्रॉफिटेबल था प्रॉफिट पोस्ट
we
करना
never
था
made money. We
अच्छा
like we were not asking for money.
अच्छा
It was like an OLX model, so you come you list, but we were that time was not thinking कि we need to start charging, right? We were trying to eat. The Indians are, if you start charging commissions to any business, they will not come.
अच्छा.
It's very hard to retain them, and they'll think, okay, my local thing is coming, so why should I come to your website and then maybe pay you? So I think from that model we wanted to implement that, but we never got a chance to do it.
अच्छा.
But there was security concern, right? Operational cost was too high. Like there were incidents where people would take stuff, specifically gaming consoles, are like you have to handle them with care. So even more care is required when you are having like camera equipment, right? So they were damages, they were like, so trust, credibility, and this plays a very pivotal role, very significant role. But I think we were too early in India to do that. Our counterparts in outside like UK and even China, the companies are so confident that they would, if they are claiming that if any of the renter breaks or damages your property, they're gonna pay them tax. They'll not reimburse, they'll like give you the new one. So they are that confident because they have the system right. Every person is tracked. They know what is the background financially and how their records are. They didn't have any system in India. Back then we had the idea. So while working on this idea, me and my founder used to think and discuss what the tech side of it. Let's create a scoring mechanism and also make it like a coin. So what we would do, like the more you need to do one-time deposit, not many times. So you could, if you do a 10,000 deposit, these are the items you can score. We're trying to build a credit score and some fancy like coin concept there, but I think then we got into too much of product and sort of we didn't execute much on the business side. But I think I attended a lot of events where I was with VCs, investors to talk about the fundraising. But there was always this thing that operational is difficult and also it have like legal problems. So if we had focused on one particular category, which was also safe to operate, I think we could have connected. But we were ardent on keeping it P2P and maybe not limiting to any category. For example, there are businesses in Bangalore and NCR where they are giving particular items on rent, like.
तो peak time पे कितने cities में reach थी?
I think Chandigarh, Dehradun.
अच्छा
Some parts of Himachal, but we never went ahead.
अच्छा और peak customer usage कितना मतलब कितने orders हुए हो?
Now I don't remember like in a month how much. I think sometimes we wouldn't even get like 100 orders, but I think we hardly cross 100 orders in a month. I think we ran it for like how many? Like three months is where we could make it operational on the internet, where you can buy rent and rent stuff. But I think after that we just couldn't operate more than that. So I think largely we would have executed not more than 200 to 220 orders. That was difficult, but I think then I shifted towards financial markets. So I think I always had interest in investing.
तो फिर यार rent से दूसरी type में कैसे shift?
No, I always had interest in capital markets, but again, I think I don't know. I think there was just this thing. The market was bullish. There was so much things.
COVID money pumping.
Yeah, and then I think my friend, like who was my co-founder, introduced me to someone who was investing for many years. So he sort of agreed to be a mentor and teach us like how to trade, invest in capital markets. So I was interested. I was like, this didn't work. Let's explore markets. If that this is something going on, like booming these days.
So उससे पहले मतलब decide कब किया कि भाई now we can't go any further. या बस ऐसे ही छोड़ दिया बस एक दिन.
Yeah, I think we just left it.
और उनका क्या जो और अभी domain है उसका?
No, I think we don't even own the domain anymore.
मतलब अब वो website कोई type करेगा exist नहीं होती.
I think it should be there, but owned by someone, but you can't just land on the page.
अच्छा.
But I think there would be some sort of presence. There should
और
be
उनका क्या हुआ जो business suggested थे कुछ नहीं.
No, we used to get text on Instagram. We used to get some calls, but I think after some time we just didn't buy anything. So.
अच्छा. तो ऐसे कुछ excitement भी दिखाई थी लोगों ने कि भाई ओ ये तो बहुत जरूरत है मेरे को भी चाहिए ऐसा कुछ. मार्केट से ऐसे excitement आई थी.
Yeah, two sides. I think specifically, what is it like? The people who were into acting and influencers sort of business, right? So I think at the time, Musical.ly, obvious so-called TikTok was there. So There was a lot of demand because people were getting so much engagement there. So they wanted to shoot videos, like good equipment to shoot at, like different clothes for different videos, right? That's that was something fascinating. I think I never expected that much of like interest and that influencer thing becoming so big now. That's something I didn't know. But I think yeah, that's something I saw early coming. The demand was really there.
अच्छा अच्छा फिर उसके बाद फिर pivoted to financial markets.
Markets, I think trading in the market for like more than a year. For first 8 months, I was just making losses. So I think
तो
I
उसमें
said-
capital किसका involved था?
my own capital. I think I lost somewhere around 80% of my initial capital in the market, but over time I built it again.
अच्छा
So
तो
no, I did all the mistakes any rookie would do, right?
Mhm.
Like I was into trade trading, I was learning strategies, I was every new day I was trying something new. And I would just focus. I theoretically I was always right. I was bad at the execution, and then I went into options trading. So that doubled the rate of making losses. So I think, yeah, and I think after some time when I found investments to work in, and I think I got the peace of mind and that not that much time to give in trading. So then I was completely into investing, swing trading and investing for the long term. And I think that has been very profitable over the last 4-5 years. The market itself has given massive bull run, right? So even anyone buy any sort of stock, it will give you a return. But I think but my return cycle have been nice. It was a great learning. Even in the, I have timed it, not always correct, but even before this fall came, right, I squared up all my positions. So right now I'm not in the market. I'm looking to enter again once at least there is some more correction. I'm still having mutual funds, but I don't not investing directly in stocks.
तो वैसे ही जनरल क्वेश्चन है कि यहाँ इंडिया से बाहर relocate करने की नहीं सोची कभी?
But now I do think to
Achha.
relocate. You need to find the right country. So again, if I want to go to US, I can't because they need a degree and I don't have it. I need to find some way to go if I want to. But I think I don't like the tax system in India. It's not very business friendly. I have high ambitions, but I also have disappointments from Indian market. It's not as favoring to business as it should be. I think it's too early for it. I think even consumer market is not as favorable to maybe the consumption brands, right? So I think that's the reason I feel like okay, India has business opportunity, but for businessmen or like business people, is it the right country to be in? I think it is, but if some things are sort of taken care of, then even it should pump the economy more.
तो फिर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स की स्टोरी क्या है मतलब वो कैसे शुरू हुआ?
So same thing. I think we started a social platform for investors, and
वो किसने शुरू किया? आप क्या जो पिछले का co-founder था उसने?
so I was just into trading and investing. Then I was searching for. So it was like this. I had some backup college, and I was searching for some internships to have it in my resume. And by the time I think I was scouting some Indeed or LinkedIn, so I found like someone posted about this idea. And the moment I got this, I think it was a UX project, some product related stuff. So I did that. And when I was working on it, I was like, I called my friend like, hey, this is an interesting idea. It's in the market now. Let's just do this thing. So when I I submitted my work to the founder, he liked it. And he approached me, hey, why not you join in the project? And we just wanted to explore like my knowledge and how much can I take in the product. So I also thought, okay, I've worked with my founder previously. Let me find someone else to work and learn because this guy, I'm having I think more than 20 years age difference with him, and he also comes with a massive background in like world-class tech companies. So I was like, okay, this is a different thing. He has high stakes in the business, so I think I joined from that point of contact.